Okay, welcome to this Informatics Europe's webinar today. My name is Gregor Engels. I'm a member of the Executive Board of Informatics Europe and your treasurer. And I'm happy to have today Gerti Kappel here as a speaker in our webinar series on gender equality in informatics. We do this in cooperation with the European Coast Action, the UGAIN project, and maybe later more about this. So I welcome you all. I see at least one participant, maybe there is a second one. And anyway, we are happy to have you here. So a few words about Informatics Europe before we start with the talk by Gerti. So we started in 2005 with our organization. It is an organization which is intended to bring together informatics leaders, especially heads of departments, but also heads of research groups in computer science or informatics. And in this way, we represent the public and private research community of informatics and in Europe and neighboring countries. And sometimes we say we are kind of the voice of informatics in Europe. So our members are really not individuals, but departments, institutes, faculties, and so on. And as you can see here from this slide, in the meantime, we are spread all over Europe. We have more than 170 institutions in more than 30 countries. So at the end, it's something like 45,000 researchers and more than 500,000 students, which are reached by our initiatives and by our webinars and by our offering to the community. So if you would like to know more about us, it's always good to go to the official website of Informatics Europe. And if you are a member of Informatics Europe, this means that you are working in one of the departments who are a member of Informatics Europe. You are invited to contribute to the work we are doing. In particular, we have a lot of working groups, as you can see on the left-hand side, like for education research, for ethics, for women in research and education, the WIRE, the open science, about data analysis and reporting, sustainability and policy recommendations. This shows also what we are mainly doing. We are, on one hand, we are collecting data about informatics institutions, about graduate students or degrees and so on. There's a nice portal where you can find all this information. And we have topics, hot topics in computer science informatics, where we have working groups and people meet there and discuss and write reports and so on. So we closely work together, as I already mentioned, with the UGAIN. We are even coordinating this European Coast Action. And we have some other projects you see here. And especially also in the education area, we work together with Informatics for All. We are even a member of initiator of this. And we also work closely together with Vienna, with the digital humanities, with Hannes Wertner, who is leading it there under the guidance of the dean of the faculty. This means Gerti Kappel. So as I said, if you would like to know more, go to the website and you'll find more information there. So really important is our annual conference this year in Edinburgh, end of October. This is the meeting of all these people who are somehow responsible for informatics in their department, in their faculties, maybe as research leaders, kind of family event where we have special workshops and for the leaders, but also for the young people. So we have this early career researchers workshop where we bring together people who are doing a PhD or even have a postdoc. And so they can exchange their experiences, they can discuss common ideas and so on. We also are in close contact to industry because the people at industry are very much interested in what we are doing. On the one hand side, because we are speaking about innovative topics. On the other hand, we are educating people which might become later employees in this industrial context. So if you think about doing something really useful this year, then come end of October to Edinburgh to our European Computer Science Summit this year in Edinburgh. I always say we have this working group. We also have kind of different services, and an important service is that we have different awards for education and for other things. In this time, we have for the first time this year an award for PhD, for good PhD. I think there are 1 or 2 days it's possible to submit a proposal, and again go to our websites. And also what we have here, a new initiative or service, is a CV repository, so where young people can upload their CV. On the other hand, industrial or academic partners have a look at this, and so we have a kind of matching platform to bring people who are looking for work together with people who are looking for people and offering work. So you can see here different possibilities to benefit of the work we are doing at Informatics Europe. So go at our web page, follow us on the different social channels, as you can see, and again, a link to this UGAIN. There's a separate website about this. A COST action we are also coordinating. So, and this is also what we hear here today by Gerti, is in this context of the COST action, which is a running project. Okay, so now we come to the slide of today. As you can see here, we will have 2 talks in the near future. One is today, one is on July 10th. And so Gerti Kappel, so since some years professor at the Technical University of Vienna. She is well known in, I think, in the whole world for her work in model-based software engineering. And but since the early days, she's also active in a political sense, let's say, being as a representative of the department of being, I think currently you are dean, Gerti, maybe you say a few words about this, and still not being a minister in Austria, but this may be the future. So Gerti, we are happy to have you here today, where you speak about several female support activities. Later, what have we learned? So I know that you have been one of the first, in this case, women who were fighting for more women in our education system in computer science, but also in our PhD programs and postdocs who are really interested in having more women. I think you have been really very successful in Vienna. So we are happy to have you here today and want to listen to your talk. I stop my sharing and let you share your slides.
So do you see my slides now?
Yes, I see.
And I go to the presentation mode.
Very good.
So should work.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you for your nice words. And yeah, we have to admit, we know each other since a couple of days and years, Gregor and myself. Thank you for the invitation, and it's an honor to present the work. I mean, the main reason, I guess, why we have been invited, and this was even more honor, is that we have received the Minerva Award. Also the Faculty of Informatics of TU Wien has received the Minerva Award last year in Hamburg, which was really a great experience. And in fact, I will tell you why we got the award, and also about our other measures, female support measures, and what we have learned over the last years. As Gregor said, I am Dean of the Faculty of Informatics. In fact, being a dean means 4 years, is a 4-year period. I'm now in my 4th year. I am the first dean of a faculty of TU Wien, since it's 200 plus existence. And I always say I was not forced to do the job. I'm doing it because I'm really interested in kind of guiding also the university, but especially the faculty in these now exciting days. So I will start with some statistics that you just get a feeling also where we are, where is our position in terms of students. And you will see we are as bad as all other countries in Middle Europe. we have less than 20% female participation, both at the beginners and at the those finishing the bachelor degree. Yeah, you see here the bars are the beginners, and the line are the alumni. And what is interesting on this slide is also that we, you can say we were forced, or you could also say we were allowed to introduce entry exams with the winter term 2016. And since 2016, we had to accept 570. Before, we had to accept all. And since 2019, we have to accept 670 students. And of course, when you talk about an entry exam, the immediate kind of concern is it discriminating females? And we were very much looking into this entry exam and having it analyzed by psychologists and sociologists. And I can tell you the good news is it's not discriminating by sex. It's also not discriminating in terms of the secondary school level, because this is the next issue, that we, in Austria, we have a gymnasium like, you know, all the other countries, I would say, but next to that we have professional schools. That means they take 1 year longer, but finish next to a kind of this normal Abitur or Matura, also with a profession mainly in the technical areas. And a lot of our beginners are, something like 50% of our freshmen, fresh women are coming from these professional schools, and they are mainly male. So we were kind of very concerned about if our entry test kind of favorizes this cohort, and it's not favorizing also in terms of the, or not discriminating in terms of the secondary school level. The numbers are not really better at the master level. As also at the master level, we have less than 20% female participation. It looks a bit better at the doctoral level, at the PhD level, and here it already starts being engineered. The success is engineered. What do I mean with that? We have so-called doctoral, specific structured doctoral programs, doctoral schools, doctoral colleges, where which are paid by the university, and where there is a kind of a quota which we have to fulfill, that at least 50% of the positions, of the offered positions, have to be filled by female students. And this was introduced in 2011, this quota, and since then the amount of female PhD students went up in our studies. And I can tell you, because I was, you know, when I was young, I was always against quota, and I have really changed my mind, because as not only due to the experience with these female PhD students, but also with them, they are not kind of worse than their male counterparts. It's mainly the opposite. We got very, very good female PhD students from all over the world, from the former Eastern European countries, but as I said, from all over the world, and they are doing quite good. And this is also a success story to this end, that meanwhile there are special programs in Austria to support female researchers doing their habilitation. You know, we still have, again, I say in Middle Europe, I think it's in the German-speaking part of Switzerland, it's in Germany, but something like that also exists, I think, in Italy and in France. We have this second dissertation, this habilitation. There are special support programs now in Austria for female researchers. But of course, they have to have done before their PhD. And especially, there are a lot of young researchers now having done their PhD with our faculty who now get this habilitation program. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy here, which is ongoing. This is the slide why we got the Minerva Award. Yeah, I have to say. You know, the Minerva Award is divides the scientific life cycle of a researcher, of a female researcher, into 3 phases. It's, you know, you have to attract the females to study, and you have to retain them, and you have to promote them. And last year, the topic was promotion, and this is exactly kind of what we have done over the last couple of years. As of beginning of March, it was our last kind of hiring started, and it was again a female full professor. We have 25% female full professors. We are not as good at the associate level. The main reason is that there are a lot of kind of, in bio age terms, old associate professors where there were not any support measures, any affirmative actions in place. And we have more than 50% at the assistant professor level. And again, this number is engineered. Engineered in the sense that, as I said, we have special programs for in Austria for doing an habilitation, and the university put into place that when you get such a grant, such an habilitation grant, you will be offered an assistant professorship with tenure track. And when you get special competitive grants, of course at the ERC level, but also at the national level, you are also offered assistant professorship with tenure tracks. And third, as last but not least, we have special positions for as assistant professorships with tenure track for female researchers, which we announce over the whole area of computer science, as not to a specific topic, as like distributed systems or cyber physical systems. So they are really announced over the whole area of computer science. But over the last years, we have filled 3 positions, 3 assistant professorships with tenure track, which have been devoted explicitly for females. And I can tell you this already starts making a difference, because you can imagine that 7 out of 13, it means that there are really a lot of young female professors, assistant professors around. They are teaching, they are doing their research. So this makes also a cultural difference already. What happened so far? And the main reason why I'm kind of here in this honored position telling you all the stories is that I was lucky enough to have, in fact, 20 years ago, a female support program, in fact, the largest, I think, of its time in Austria, where the main goal was to get more highly educated females into computer science. And as in one of the main subjects, and since I acquired this grant, this was as in computer science. And this was this Women's Postgraduate College in Internet Technology. You even, although this has finished in 2007, you would find the kind of the material still online. And the main reason, the main goal at that time was to fulfill 3 things. First, to have females doing their PhD. We had 8 positions over the whole area of computer science. The only kind of precondition was you had to be a female. Secondly, we built up female support measures, doing workshops for pupils, having mentoring for the fresh woman entering the university and so on. And third, we were building up a lecture series where the goal just was to get the best of the best worldwide from research, politics, and industry. As for example, we had Jim Gray as a Turing awardee in coming to our WIT colloquium and so on. And what I have as a lot of my findings, which I also tell at the end of my presentation, was really from that time, is that what is really most important is when you build up this support programs, you really have to ensure first to convince even the females that they accept your support measures, because a lot of females say, why do I need a special support? Yeah? My male colleagues don't get it, and I'm as good as my male colleagues. I don't want to be especially put out of the group. So we have to teach the females that they really are worth of support. They are not in need of support, but they are worth of being supported. That was one kind of learning. And the second learning was that the most important things for all these support programs is sustainability. It doesn't make a sense to have it only for a couple of years, because otherwise the next day when the funding is over, nobody's caring anymore. You really have to sustain because it takes really a long time to develop a certain change. But okay, anyway, we had quite a good funding at that time. And what I have over the kind of last something like 6-7 years built up here. Before being dean, I was already vice dean. So since over the last 8 years, I am to a certain extent in charge of this. We build up and along this line what as I said, of this life cycle of a research, attract, retain, promote. We build up at the attract level a special program for pupils, as for school students, and I will talk about that. We build up also, this already goes into this retain phase, special intro program, so-called bridging courses for those male and female who can't program, and we have some, I would say, lightweight measures for promotion and sensitizing in place. So most of the programs where we really put, in fact, also a lot of effort and money in, is really at this attraction level. Now you might say, and still we don't have more than 20% female students. This is also a learning over the last dozens of years. It's really very difficult to, although we have to do all these programs, it's very difficult to change our culture. We are still living in a very conservative school, family, society culture. At least I would say in Austria, I guess Germany is somewhat similar. But nevertheless, we really have to do this programs for schools. So what we have already started, as you see here, since the late 90s, that we have, in fact, all universities, all technical universities or technical faculties do this once a year, end of January, that they invite female pupils to their place, to introduce them to different technical subjects and natural science subjects, to do workshops and to kind of inform them about the possibilities which they have. What we have already done in the 0 years, and we started again last year, is that we do special summer workshops for girls. So here last year it was this girls code together. You know, it's always this game with the TU for Technische Universität in the word. And of course, here the experience is that the girls are quite excited about it. Yeah, what everything, what the information they get, they just it's like you can put all the information on them, and they really take it and are quite fond of it. It doesn't mean, of course, that they then start studying computer science perhaps in a couple of years later. But I think one of the most important parts of this school workshops is that we really provide them with the excitedness of technology, excitedness about computer science, and that we also change the view on computer science. When you see here, it was done in a way of kind of computer science unplugged, and they had both about coding and artificial intelligence, and you see also this Boston Dynamics bot as a bit of mixed reality information. And I think especially nowadays, where AI is such a huge hype and topic, it is, I think, less difficult to attract school classes to this different kind of workshops. What we have also built up since 2017 in an online course for introduction to programming with processing. And, you know, 2017, this was 3 years before the pandemic. At that time, it was the very first MOOC of the TU Wien, as of this massive open online course. Also, meanwhile, this is almost, you can say, outdated, but it is still used as a kind of as the underlying material for our different bridging courses. And kind of last but not least, the main part, what we have built up as interface to schools, is a permanent exhibition called Abenteuer Informatik, as Excitedness Computer Science, which is from a colleague from the TU Darmstadt in Germany. And the idea here is really to provide really computational thinking, algorithmic thinking examples to the students. So it's about encoding, it's about shortest path, it's about complexity, it's about security, safety issues. So we have about 11 topics. Meanwhile, it has really further developed. We have topics also on artificial intelligence, the machine learning, neural networks. We have topics about ethical hacking, mixed reality, and kind of robotic programming. And what I just want to show you here with this slide is that although we have started with this exhibition in summer term 2019, of course, then was the pandemic, where there was not a lot of workshops. But last summer term, then last winter term, and even I have here the numbers only for this summer term, only for March, without doing any advertisement. This is really just by, you know, teachers are coming and they tell their colleagues and so on. We already had almost 4,000 students until the end of March visiting this exhibition. And here we really, I think, have at the right time have started to provide this information, because still the education in informatics is very poor in the schools, because although we have the special study of becoming a teacher in computer science, it is not really taken. So there are not a lot of students who are studying becoming a teacher in computer science. And it means that there is not a lot of knowledge with the teachers still out there in the schools, and the teachers are quite happy that we provide this kind of workshops, and we also provide material to them so that they can then do homeworks, and so this is I would say this is really the most important success story from all the different measures we are doing. Yeah. I was mentioning that we have this MOOC, this massive open online course, Introduction to Programming with Processing. Processing is a preprocessor to Java, and it is mainly used for for doing some graphical output. So you can quite easily say you have you draw a rectangle, and then you let the rectangle kind of be multiplied and having it shown like a star, and so on. We started with this bridging course in the winter term. I have here the numbers only until to the winter term 2019, but it continues quite similar. And what it shows is we started only, first we wanted it only to be offered to females, but we soon realized that also we have male colleagues as a freshmen who need this information, because the main reason is, as I said at the beginning, depending on their secondary school they have visited, they either have some pre-knowledge about computer science or programming, or they have none at all. And so we also offered these courses to the male colleagues, but you see here in the ratio that mainly, from the ratio, more females than males are taking the course. The main reason being that most of our females are coming from a gymnasium or from such kind of professional schools, like where they have a lot of tourism or accounting, but not from a technical professional schools. And what we have realized as the effects on the first year and on the whole their study program is, and I know the slides are not the best here, but I just wanted to show is how this bridging course affects the amount of ECTS they do in their first year. And you have here the broad columns are, the first one is doing nothing, so that's 0 ECTS, and then 0 or the 1 to 8 and 8 to 16 and so on. And within one column you always have the left one is with the bridging course and the right one is without the bridging course. And you see when you, for example, look at 16 to 24 ECTS, 24 to 32 ECTS, it shows that when you have done the bridging course, you do more, as in percentage, more ECTS than when you haven't done the bridging course. Now you can see it's clear because when you do the bridging course, it means that you are really engaged. You want to from the beginning on, you want to kind of follow your study program. But nevertheless, it shows that providing this support pays off. The next slide is perhaps even worse in terms of the way how the numbers are presented. But again, just look at the left side is for females, the right side is for males. And when you look just at the left column, we have here here again, the left is with this bridging course and the right is without bridging course. And the green, the first line is all the students who started in 2016. The next line is 2017, then 18, then 19, and it shows the study progress. I don't know what your experience is. Normally, a bachelor course is about 6 semesters, 3 years. Most of our students take 5 to 6 years. Yeah? So that means when I look at the in the last row at the students starting in 2019, almost none have finished in 22. But when you look at for example, the first row, 2016, is half of them, more than half of them, have finished when they have done the bridging course. Without doing the bridging course, they are just less than 20% who have finished. Again, of course, you can say doing the bridging course means these are the students who are more engaged, but we also think that, having this bridging course also helps the students to get to know others who are in the same situation. So a kind of a hidden agenda of this bridging course is that you have a kind of a network of peers from the very beginning on, which also might help to do your studies. So this were the program for kind of attracting. So it's mainly our school programs, all our workshops, and the bridging course. Concerning retaining the students, as I said, here it gets a bit kind of more on the lightweight area. What we provide is we provide especially special grants for female master students to become what we call research assistant, but at the master level. Yeah, they have not finished their studies, they haven't finished their master. They are not teaching assistants, so they are not kind of they don't have to support special courses, but they have really up to 20 hours per week. They are kind of paid and attached to a research unit where they can do their master, where they kind of participate in the research work to get them interested in research, and also perhaps to get them interested in doing a PhD after they have finished their masters. We also provide scholarships for taking this kind of, not only this, but general female master students to conferences. In fact, this is a measure which I got to know the first time in Paderborn within a special collaborative research program where also Gregor Engels was involved. And I was really fond of this and kind of came home and said we have to do the same. And this is quite, you can say what is certified scholarships in 4 years, but at least what we have learned is that the female students get really interested in the topic. As I'm sitting here, I can't tell you how many of them, this I didn't follow up the statistics, have started a PhD. But at least I think we have shown them how research might be exciting and how research works. We have special scholarships from supported by Siemens Austria for our kind of high potential female students. And as already said, in the doctoral colleges, we have introduced this female quota. When they are doing their PhD, we have programs for, sending them to university, and also doing internships at other places, but sending them to conferences. They can ask for financial support. And we had special postdoc position for female scientists, and we have now the special positions for assistant professorships, as I already mentioned before. And last but not least, kind of this fourth kind of phase in this in the life cycle of a female or of general of researchers is, I think, also doing this sensitization. So getting being made aware of the situation. And we had special gender awareness workshops taking place. And I have to say, here the willingness of my colleagues to attend these workshops is really limited. So there we would need much more nudging, I would say, to a certain extent, which I haven't done, I have to say, due to, other priorities also. The same holds true for guest professorships. Here we are really, we could do much better concerning female kind of a ratio of our guest professors, because we have every year something like 6-7 guest professors, and it was only last semester that we had 2 female guest professors, but normally we are here quite bad. Also here, this again, what it shows is that if you don't provide this quota, if you don't force the people to think of, for example, female colleagues being invited, if you don't have certain measures in place, it's still that kind of the male take it all. Yeah? What we have also in place is that for being hired as a full professor, since winter term 21, there are certain gender competences which have to be kind of shown by our applicants. Now, when you ask me how to measure this, it's really, in the discussion during the hiring process, in the question answering session, that this is a topic, but at least it has to be a topic. Everybody, every applicant is asked if he or she has any ideas, has already experience, what are the quotas in their group, and so on. So this is more this sidestep, which I leave now apart. You get the slides anyway. Perhaps to finish up is really what have we learned? And as I was mentioning at the beginning, as our huge competitor, at least in Austria, is still the conservative society, home school culture. So we still have to kind of work against this skepticism of towards technology, natural science. Second, what I also already mentioned is really the mindset. We really have to almost force, to a certain extent, our female students to accept certain supportive measures. So we had, again, it's already a couple of years, but we had an opinion poll about among our female business informatics computer science students, and there 27% were in favor of female support measures, but it means 73 were against it. And this is really, we have to work against this number, because it only shows that females think they don't want to be treated, especially because they are afraid that they are then perhaps even looked in a negative way on them, compared to our male colleagues who take everything what they get. The next thing is learn from the best. There are so many examples, meanwhile, from like Carnegie Mellon University, Harvey Mudd, Edinburgh, Bamberg, when you know them. This was really, I think this is one of the best thing what Informatics Europe could have done, is really providing this Minerva Award. And by this, first of all, showing, demonstrating, and exhibiting all the good examples, and also putting them in front of the curtain. Yeah? We have to look at our curricula. So we have done this in the first year. We have, for example, introduced a special course on computational thinking in the first semester. So next to, you know, introduction to programming and algorithm data structures and algebra, they also have this course where they just get to know what does it mean solving a problem, what kind of you know, user experiences do exist, what is how is computer science changing our society, and so on. And we have to teach the teacher in the schools. This is really, at least in Austria, I think a huge problem is that the reputation of teachers in schools is not very good, which is really a pity, because I think they are teaching our future. Yeah? They are educating our future. And when I was in Finland, I had really an eye opener, because there I've heard, okay, our best people have to become teacher because they are teaching the future. And at least in Austria, it's sometimes, there are a lot of engaged and very good teachers, but their reputation in general they have in the society is kind of not what they would really deserve. And I think at this level we really have to change also. Also in the sense, like in computer science, yeah, there is this kind of this understanding, this mindset. If you are good in computer science, you do the real study, the real curriculum, and if you are not as good, you do the teacher curriculum, which is really weird. Yeah? Also, you could almost say it should be the other way around. So, so teaching and schools is an own topic. Yeah? What we need is role models, and I think here we have excelled. Again, I guess this was the reason why we got the Minerva Award, since we have quite a few full professors now, and we have all these assistant professors. This is really something where we can show to our students that we have, you know, at all career levels, we have males and females. They are worthy of support, as I already said. And what I also said is really this sustainability, and sustainability not only in terms of CO2 reduction, but female empowerment. Yeah? We really have to continue supporting our different female support measures, and this needs resources, yeah? Money and human resources. At TU level, one of the best things, and this is not a merit to our faculty, but it's a merit to the whole TU Wien, is really the kindergarten. I think, and this is for all levels, also PhD students, postdocs, but especially assistant professor level. Yeah? You need a very flexible childcare, so that you don't have to worry if, you know, when you have a later meeting, when you have an earlier meeting, that you have problems with childcare. Quite often our assistant professors are coming from all over the world, so they don't have family in their vicinity, and they really need this childcare support. So I always finish my this kind of presentations with for me it's really a hero, with Christiane Nüsslein-Vollhardt. She got the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in '95, and she has devoted a huge part of her Nobel Prize money to promote female scientists with children. Also she has devoted the money for childcare for female scientists. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerti. A lot of applause you can't hear, but it is there. Okay, let's see. Of course, I can have some questions to you, but maybe somebody in the audience would also like to ask Gerti
I
something.
just stop now here. Yeah.
Okay, there's a little.
But I can put it up again if it's necessary.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Anna is saying great talk, Gerti. I suppose.
Hi, Anna.
So you know Anna?
Yeah, of course. She has visited us a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, very good. Anna, do you still have questions to Gerti, or you know everything? Did you hear me, Anna?
No, sorry.
Okay, my question was to you whether you still have a question to Gerti or you know everything.
I don't have any more questions. I just wanted to congratulate Gerti for the talk because it was very, very interesting. And even if I spent some time with her in Vienna, now I learned new things. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, maybe Gerti, we have a few minutes, and I really have also a lot of maybe also interesting questions. So we, of course, everybody is thinking about how you can improve the situation. And a few days ago, I was in discussion with the industry, and there we spoke about this, what we call dual study. A dual study is that you maybe first, after Abitur, you go for 1 year really in industry, and you do a kind of education, and you even can get a degree at the end, but you're really within the company for some time. And when I also spoke several times at schools, I got the impression that especially women like to have such a, let's say, organized environment. They don't go to university, they don't know whether they will have a job later on or not. So here they even get money, something like, let's say, 1,000 euro per month. And the benefit also is that they see immediately that when we are studying computer science, this has some benefit, and we can do something, and there's some what I can do with my hands, let's say, what I really, And I was thinking about, because I got this feedback by women, no, we don't go to the university. We like to do this dual program. And dual program means that you also do a bachelor, and then in parallel. And maybe this could be, I don't know whether you thought about this, that this kind of combining the real life with the ivory tower of academia. Did you think about this or not? Not yet. No.
I haven't thought about this, honestly, but what I fully agree is that females normally, perhaps also based on their kind of, their education and what their families expect from them, they often ask after what is they don't only do something, because like more in a gaming like way, but they really ask what is is there a special usage of that what I'm doing, and I can imagine that when enterprises offer this kind of positions, that this is attractive for females, because then they see immediately they have their position, they get some money. What I would be very careful is that that the industry is not ausnutzen, that they are not taking everything from the students, and they don't let them give them enough time for studying. Yeah, because also now I have to say we have really the problem that most of our students are working. And it's mainly that they are more and more working and doing less and less for their study program.
But we didn't have, we had along many years, we had this kind of cooperative study with Siemens and later Atos. And so they took really care that the students finish within 3 or 4 years, because they are paying them, and then they gave them enough time. But it was only an idea. And another question I have, because nobody is asking at the moment. So when I speak to some of our, let's say, researchers in gender, they quite often tell me, look at your advertisements of professorship positions. Maybe also look at how do you describe here the computer science study. It is really technology centric. It's not at all human centric. So you don't speak about the humans. And so you know about Paderborn, and we had the discussion here to have a replacement of an open professorship position. Then there was the question, do we operating systems or human-computer interaction? And all my colleagues decided for operating systems. And I say, are you crazy? Nowadays, all the systems we are using are connected to humans. So we need an HCI person. But I think we make here also many mistakes in our computer science departments that we don't open our study program to these soft topics. Soft doesn't mean negative soft, but to the psychological, sociological, maybe even political issues, to show the students that you do not only learn programming, you learn also about the impact of computer science within this world. So I think we have really to think about our curricula. You also said, let's adapt the curricula, but in this way that they are more attractive for the people who do not only want to program, not hacking.
And even those, even for those who do want to program, they should also know that, you know, that there are certain values which they have to also kind of fulfill when they program, you know, transparency of algorithms, for example, now, and accountability, and I mean, all this, what now is called ethical issues in computer science. We might be still hardcore technicians, but we have to take these issues into account. Like, you know, when you are a physician nowadays, you also have to think of, and you are trained also concerning ethical issues in your medical treatment. The same holds true also for our subject.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe one last remark. You spoke about these bridging courses, and that that has a positive impact on the study. There was a little bit funny study a few days ago. I saw it. It was about, let's assume that you are a student and you go every second evening to a party, or you are a student who go never to a party. And then the question was, who finished study earlier? And the answer is, or the result was, that those people who go every second evening to a party, maybe even drink a lot of alcohol, finished their study faster than those who are sitting alone in their room and have no social context. Because in this parties, they spoke a lot about the subject, and they are much better understood how everything is related. And they also had better networks, and they learned how to behave in social networks. So this means go to parties, Gerti, drink more, and then you have a more happy life.
No, this is a good advice. But as I said, our hidden agenda is really providing them the network. Exactly. I also think that really one huge problem is that when you enter this big university and you are kind of alone and sit in a, at least at the beginning, still we have these huge courses with a couple of hundreds of students. Also post-corona we have it. You are kind of lost. And here the party helps.
And the reason also is that when you look at appreciation of our profession, so we get rewards for good publications, for a lot of funding material, but still only a little rewards for good teaching. So the Minerva Award is one try of Informatics Europe. But still, if you apply for another position, first they ask you how many journals and H-index and so on. And they ask you, did you also do some teaching and so on? Okay.
I totally agree.
Anna, you still have no question?
No problem.
Okay, so nobody is there with any question. I think because now it's 6 o'clock, so I will finish now. Gerti, I was really happy to be allowed to listen to you, because it was really interesting, and maybe you do not know, but this will be recorded and somehow then brought on YouTube. So,
and in 30 years we can look at it and say,
Okay, in this sense, let me thank you again, Gerti. Let me thank
you for the invitation.
All the people in the audience. At least a few have been here. I'm happy. And but this will be seen later by other people, the whole presentation. So thank you again, and hope to see you again soon, all of you, in particular, Gerti. Okay. Bye-bye, Gerti.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye all together.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.